Two bikers roll into a quiet, dimly lit bar, looking for trouble. The bartender, a man of few words, greets them with a calm demeanor. But what they don't know is that this isn't just any bartender. He's a former Marine commander, someone with a past that's anything but ordinary. As the bikers push their luck, testing his patience, the tension in the air rises. The bartender, unassuming and quiet, seems like an easy target. But when the bikers cross the line, they quickly realize they've made a dangerous mistake. What happens next is far from what they expect, and everything is about to change. Will they walk away with their pride intact, or will they be forced to reckon with someone who's been trained for far worse? Stay tuned. The bikers, rough around the edges and full of bravado, have no idea who they're dealing with. To them, the bartender is just a quiet man behind the counter, serving drinks and staying out of sight. But behind his calm exterior lies a world of experience. Years spent leading Marines through some of the toughest conflicts imaginable. He's seen things that would break most men, yet here he is, living a simple life, far removed from the chaos. Or so it seems. The bikers, a couple of self-proclaimed tough guys, think they can push him around. They don't realize that his quiet demeanor isn't weakness, it's restraint. Every word they say, every challenge they throw his way, only serves to bring them closer to a line they won't be able to cross without consequences. The bikers start to get more aggressive, taunting the bartender, trying to provoke a reaction. One of them, a taller man with a scruffy beard, slams his fist on the counter, demanding another round of drinks. The bartender doesn't flinch. He just pours the drinks, his movements steady, as if he's somewhere else in his mind. His hand lingers for a moment on the bottle, a brief, imperceptible tension in his fingers. The bikers laugh, thinking they've got him under their thumb. But in the back of the bartender's mind, memories flash of his time in combat, orders given, soldiers depending on him, enemies eliminated without hesitation. The bartender's calm is the calm before a storm, and he knows it. Meanwhile, the second biker, a shorter one with a tribal tattoo snaking down his arm, eyes the door. Something feels off. He can sense the tension in the air, but his pride won't let him back down now. He sneers at the bartender, leaning in close, his voice low but dripping with malice. "You think you're special, huh? Just because you wore a uniform." The words are meant to sting, but they don't faze the bartender. He's heard far worse in his lifetime. Still, the quiet is growing louder between them, and it's beginning to suffocate. The longer the confrontation drags on, the more dangerous it becomes. The bikers have no idea that their careless provocations are pushing the bartender toward a breaking point they can't begin to understand. And as the second biker reaches for his jacket, a small knife glinting in the dim light, a subtle shift in the bartender's posture hints at what's to come. They're about to find out that some quiet men, when pushed far enough, can be far more dangerous than they ever imagined. The air in the bar is thick, heavy with unspoken threats. The biker's laughter fades, replaced by the sound of clinking bottles and the faint hum of the jukebox in the corner. The bartender moves behind the counter like he's going through the motions, but his mind is elsewhere. He knows this moment could spiral out of control in an instant. His fingers are tense, gripping the edge of the counter, his eyes never leaving the men. The second biker is getting restless, his hand twitching near the knife in his jacket. He feels the weight of the room shift, like something is about to break. The first biker, oblivious to the growing tension, takes another swig of his drink, still mocking the bartender, unaware of the storm he's stirring. For a split second, everything seems frozen. Time feels like it's stretched out, like the world is holding. His right hand slips under the counter, out of sight. The bikers don't notice, too wrapped up in their bravado to see the danger closing in around them. Every move the bikers make now feels like it's happening in slow motion. The clock on the wall ticks, each second dragging on longer than the last. The air crackles with a quiet intensity, a pressure building, ready to explode. As the shorter biker lunges forward with the knife, it's clear the bartender's restraint is slipping away. The question now isn't if he'll defend himself, but how. And how far will he go? Just as the shorter biker lunges forward, knife in hand, the bartender's body shifts with deadly precision. His hand, previously hidden beneath the counter, reveals a flash of metal, not a weapon, but something far more unexpected, a set of keys. He moves quickly, sweeping the keys in a swift, controlled motion that disorients the biker for a split second. The biker falters, his attack faltering, and that moment is all the bartender needs. But before the situation can escalate further, the door swings open, and the low rumble of a motorcycle engine cuts through the silence. Both bikers freeze, their attention momentarily diverted. The newcomer steps into the bar, a figure shrouded in leather and shadow. It's a man, tall and broad-shouldered, his face hidden beneath the brim of a weathered helmet. The room goes quiet again, the tension palpable. The bikers glance at each other, confused. Who is this guy? Why is he here? The bartender's face remains unreadable, but his eyes flicker toward the door, his calm demeanor slipping for the briefest moment. The newcomer approaches the counter, his boots heavy on the floor, and then, without a word, he removes his helmet. The bartender's eyes widen slightly, his pulse quickening as recognition sets in. This man isn't just another biker. He's someone from the bartender's past, someone he thought he'd never see again. The air in the bar grows even thicker as the new arrival locks eyes with the bartender. The bikers, completely unaware of the connection, are still sizing him up, unsure of whether to approach or back off. But as the silence drags on, the bartender's face hardens. The unexpected reunion is more than just a surprise. It's a danger he never saw coming. The stakes have just risen, and the bartender's calm is wearing thin. The bikers are caught between two unknowns. The bartender, who they've underestimated, and the mysterious man who's just entered the fray. Neither of them knows the full extent of what they're dealing with, but one thing is clear. This night is far from over. The tension in the bar is unbearable. The bikers glance between the bartender and the newcomer. Before either man can speak again, the door bursts open a second time, and two more bikers storm in. This time, they're not here to fight. They've come for something else. But the moment they step through the threshold, they freeze. Standing behind them, framed by the door, is another figure, a woman, tall, confident, and holding a gun steady in her hands. The room falls completely still. The new arrival isn't just an ally. She's been tracking the bikers for weeks. The stakes have shifted once again. The bikers, now realizing they're caught in the middle of a much larger operation, turn to leave, but the woman's voice cuts through the silence. "Don't move," she commands. "You're not going anywhere." The bartender, the newcomer, and the woman all exchange a look. There's no more hiding, no more pretending. The bikers are about to be taken down, but what comes next is anyone's guess. It's clear now that the bartender's quiet life has been a lie. A life built on a past he can't escape. A past that's finally come back to collect its due. As the scene unfolds, the bikers are forced to confront the reality of their situation. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The unexpected alliances, the old wounds, the secrets, it all comes crashing down in one intense final moment. But just as everything seems to settle, the bartender's phone rings. His eyes widen as he answers, his face turning pale. "Where are you?" It's happening now. The twist leaves the room hanging on the edge of uncertainty. The bartender's quiet life was never meant to last, and the past he's tried to bury is about to catch up with him, harder than he ever imagined. The audience is left to wonder, who is really pulling the strings? And is the bartender truly in control of his own fate? Or is he just another pawn in a game much bigger than he ever anticipated? The bartender's face goes pale as he listens to the voice on the other end of the phone. His hand trembles slightly before he hangs up, a heavy silence settling over the room. He turns to the newcomer, his former comrade, nodding slowly. The betrayal he's felt now makes sense. It's not just about the bikers. It's about the bigger picture, the operation he thought he left behind. But it's too late for regrets now. The woman steps forward, her gun lowered. "It's over," she says, eyes locking with the bikers. The two remaining men drop their weapons without a word. Outside, sirens wail in the distance. The bartender watches them leave, a weight lifting from his shoulders. As the dust settles, the bartender looks at the newcomer. There are no more words needed. The past is behind them, but the scars remain. For now, he's free. But the question lingers, can anyone truly outrun their past?